Yo guys, what's going on? It's Dueling Unlocked here, and today I'm going to be doing my KC Cup tier list for which decks do I think are going to do the best in the KC. So what we have here is we have tiers of how many tops I think each deck's going to get, so obviously we have 0 tops here, these are the decks that I don't think are going to top. We have 0 to 3 tops, these are the decks that I think have a chance to top, and we might see a few of them top. 3 to 9 tops, I think they'll get some decent amount of tops. 10 to 15 tops, 16 to 20. 21 to 29, and 30 plus tops. So I'm going to work our way from the bottom to the top for you guys here. So obviously this is going there. Some decks that I think have a chance to top, I don't know if there'll be more, but I think Salads as well as Heroes go in here. Predaplants probably go in here, Cybertruck is in there. A lot of these decks down here, there you go. But yeah, I think these decks have a chance to top. Salads can play through a lot. Also, another one here would be Crystal Beast. I think they have like a chance to see a few tops here. Maybe they'll be higher, but I think the meta is the #1 deck in the format. Like, will definitely hit these. Heroes have like a floodgate. Let's see what. I'm also gonna pull up the DLM tier list here. So, what do they say about Heroes? Well, Heroes and Junior are the most promising of the new box decks. The top player council doesn't have confidence in the scope of a wider meta. Well, it's certainly possible for these decks to form in the upcoming KC Cup due to the tournament. The TPC does not expect it. So yeah, I think Junior is also another one that can potentially top here as well. So I'm going to put these 4 decks as a chance to top with 0 to 3 tops of Solomon Great, Heroes, Crystal Beast, and Gene Raiders. So which decks do I think will get some tops? 3 to 9 tops, I think. Also, Sharks? I don't know. Sharks is like... I think it might be past its time, unfortunately. Some more decks down here. Yeah. There we go. I'll keep putting more. Alright, so what decks do I think are going to get 3 to 9 tops? I think Ancient Gear is probably going to be in this category. Oh yeah, Raw. I think that's also going to be on this category right here of a chance. I think people underestimate Raw. It does feel pretty strong, but it has some decent tournament results, but I think the TPC is saying that tournament results don't matter as much. But I think they're definitely going to be like a 1 or 2 to 3 Raw that can definitely potentially top though, because people won't know how to play against it, because they won't be playing much versus it. Alright, Speedroid I think could also potentially be in this part. Maybe it goes up here. I'm gonna put Speedroid up a bit there, yeah. I think Speedroid as well as Gustos are gonna go up here with like 10 to 15 tops. I think people really underestimate Gustos, to be honest. Oh yeah, Star Seraphs. Star Seraphs always has a chance as well, because they can floodgate people over and over again. This goes down here. Chimera, I'm honestly probably gonna put it here with Ancient Gear. I think the main reason these decks are going to do really well is because they don't care about fusion summoning. So the cards that are going to like hit Chimera, Shaddoll, Despia aren't going to hit these decks as much, which I think is going to be like really, really good for them. I don't know if this is going to math out, but we'll see. Rezos. I'm going to put Rezos in the 3 to 9 tops here as well. So I think that's fair. And then... Oh, yeah. I guess I had 2 Gene Raiders. Oops. Utopia... probably goes to the 3 to 9 tops as well. I think Utopia is just a little outclassed this meta. The decks, like... I'm gonna put Shaddoll all the way to the big top, guys. I think 30 plus tops for Shaddoll. It can just play around everything. It's insane. This deck is crazy. It needs a nerf for sure. But yeah, I think this deck's gonna be the number one deck of the format. And yeah. Then I'm gonna actually put Striker in the 16 to 20 tops, I think. As well as then Despia in the second place here. So let's do some math, guys. So let's pull up a calculator. If I have like... We'll just go like on the lower end of this, I guess. So we'll say like Shadol has like 30 tops. We'll put like, I guess we'll go in the middle. If we put Despia at like 25, that's like 55. And then like Striker is like 17. And then we have a... I mean, okay, we'll just say the lowest number, right? That's fair. 30 plus 20 plus 20. It's like 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, that works. That works. This works, actually. Yeah, these numbers do add up. So, let me know what you guys think. This is what the decks I think are going to do the best in the KC are. Some people might think it's going to be like this. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm Chimera seems insane, right? But I think it's gonna struggle going second. Utopia. Let's see what the KC says here in general. All right, or the TPC, I mean. In addition, the following week's tier list is going to be replaced with a banless reaction later in the week. No banless. Alright, okay, fair enough. The current meta seems mostly divided by non-engine. Shaddoll is the best deck, but like every other deck, it loses to a silver bullet non-fusion area unless it draws the out. It'll be interesting to see the extent players adopt these counter strategies, as there will always be a dead matchup. For example, Sky Striker has its own silver bullet in Troll and Lockbird. Yeah, Troll and Lockbird is going to be interesting to see if people are going to play that. It's really hard to say how these decks will perform in the upcoming KC. It all depends on the representation. On one hand, we have Shaddoll, which is the best deck in the format, which boasts a favorable matchup against almost anything. However, the deck typically may persuade players to opt for different options like Despia, which clearly has the best Shaddoll matchup. That being said, if Shaddoll doesn't end up being popular, I think it definitely will be popular. This deck's like Resonator, Solving Great, and Crystal Beast, decks that have good matchup spreads. If you ignore the poor Shaddoll matchup, might rise. There also exist decks outside the dynamic like Sky Striker, which is generally solid but less consistent, and weak to silver bullet cards like Troll and Lockbird. To this round, coin flip decks like Chimera that can guarantee a win if they go first, while struggling to go in second, making those matchups 50-50. Yes, we have some difficult matchups in this format, but it's the only deck with a favorable Shaddoll matchup. Depending on the Shaddoll's popularity, Despia could either do extremely well or underperform in this upcoming KC Cup against Shaddoll in the B Cup from Underworld line that ends on no monster seems to be the best option, and opening Morningstar will break the entire board and force a grind game. Despia's playstyle is fairly linear and reliant on Brandon and Red in the first Dark Lord, which makes quick effect graveyard banishes like DD Crow and Destruction Protection from the likes of Silent Great, and Resonator is quite effective. Despia switched focus text to combat turn 1s like the Sky Striker and Chimera. This leads to less copies of Banishment of the Dark Lords and added copies of Droll and Lockbird or DD Crow. The result is the deck has a higher ceiling, but less access to its core plays for the Shaddoll matchup in the mirror. Shaddoll remains to be the best deck in the current format, and it is most suitable for the KC, while the deck's ability to break boards using only engine. However, since we're in a non-fusion area format, Sky Striker becomes harder to break if you don't draw the L Shaddoll fusion. As such, Mystical Space Typhoon might arise with a solid tech choice to handle floodgates, while also being serviceable against Schism, Despia, and Theater of Branded. Sky Striker is likely to be a popular choice for upcoming KC. Deck's ability to clear boards is not to be underestimated. That, alongside the potential to run strong floodgates like Abyssal or non-fusion area, can make Sky Striker a scary deck to go against. This, however, might also lead to an increase in cards that do well against Sky Striker. MST, Cosmic Cyclone, and Droll and Lockbird. Chimera is the strongest turn 1 in the game right now, basically putting every other deck in a draw the out situation, so actually puts Chimera in a similar place that Utopia was in the WCQ. While it is not the best deck, it's a low effort strategy that you can spam a ton of games with. I think Gusto is underrated at the moment. It's one of the few decks that has a favorable Shaddoll matchup. I expect Gusto to do well this upcoming KC. Hey, let's go Gustos. Both heroes, yeah. But yeah, I think that lines up. Maybe it could be like here, honestly. Or here. We'll see. But yeah, this is my prediction. We'll see how close I am. I'm probably going to be wrong, but... I mean, I'm most likely going to be wrong. There's too many things to predict here, but... We'll see. I definitely want to come back at the end of the KC and see how close I was. But I do think Speedroids And not speedruns, but Gusto is the deck to look out for. Chimera could definitely be probably moved up. Maybe I do move Chimera up to like here. Because it's like turn. Yeah, I think I'll move Chimera up here, so. Shaddoll is number 1, Despia number 2, Striker number 3, Gusto number 4. Uh, honestly, probably Chimera 5, Speedroid 6. Utopia, Rezo 7, Utopia 8, and Ancient Gear 9. Alright, there we go. Those are the top, like, 10-ish decks to get KC. I think are going to be the best in the KC. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.